A critical vulnerability was executed on the library contract for the standard multi-sig Parity wallets. This affects all Ethereum users with any assets in a multi-sig Parity wallet which were created and deployed after July 20th. This is a disaster for countless people and organizations and affects over 500,000 Ether tokens, which is currently valued at least 154 million USD and could be much more. So how did this happen? How will this affect the notion of decentralization and true immutability? And is the Ethereum Foundation's responsibility to create custom hard forks to fix buggy smart contracts that are written either by themselves or by any other team in the Ethereum space? Let's discuss. Hey everybody, I'm Gary Palmer Jr., you're you, and together, welcome to Minting Coins. So unfortunately, there's some serious and sad news coming out in the blockchain community, the blockchain industry, and I'm sure have probably already heard about this with the Parity multi-sig wallet vulnerability, of which has affected countless people and organizations and just an enormous sum of money. Perhaps, could be more or less of $250 million, right? And it is just underlying and emphasizing multiple aspects, multiple nuances, multiple variants of what's happening with this new industry, with this new technology, and the risks that are involved with the people involved, with the procedures involved, and what happens when there isn't a good process, when there isn't a good oversight, and with so much money on the line, this is definitely more emotional and more serious than just a normal software mistake, right? And so in today's news, we're going to go over what happened, why did this situation come about, what is the background of the story, what are people talking about in terms of solutions in the space? What does this mean about immutability, about censorship-resistant blockchain technology, especially in light of how Ethereum has already hard forked in the past, away from Ethereum Classic and hard forked into Ethereum after the previous hack. If there was a hard fork to fix this situation, quote unquote, then what does that say about central authority being able to come in and change the blockchain whenever there's a decision that they don't like happen on the blockchain, and affecting even more people and rippling throughout the industry, which just has unintended consequences all the way down the line. So with that being said, let's take a look a little bit at the background information, see what's going on with this whole fiasco, and let's discuss. Okay, so let's start over here at Twitter. We have this tweet from Charlie Lee. It says here, the new Parity multi-sig wallet has a bug in it that lets someone accidentally nuke every single wallet to become non-withdrawable. $300 million stuck. And so there's a $300 million number over here. I've been seeing a lot of different numbers all over the place by exactly how much Ether was in this contract. Some people are saying that it's 500,000 Ether. Some people are saying that it's over 1 million Ether, and at current prices, somewhere between 150 million to over $300 million in Ether, which is just potentially stuck forever. It's not lost. They know exactly where it is. It's not stolen. It wasn't removed from the wallet. It's just irretrievable. And so it's interesting because now there's a lot less Ether available to the total supply, so there's a lot less supply. And so on the economic side of things, I would expect the price of Ethereum to either stay the same or increase. A lot of people would expect this to decrease the price, and we'll take a peek at that when we look at the market in a little bit. Yeah, so people are reading this information and people aren't sure what this means. Is it true? What's going on? And so let's go deeper into the news, see what's happening. We have at paritytech.io a security alert blog from November 7th, just yesterday. Critical severity, products affected, the Parity multi-sig wallet. This, as we talked about in the intro, this vulnerability in the library contract affecting users who have Parity wallets that have been created and deployed after July 20th. Because what happened is that there was an update to the Parity wallet where they were seeking to fix other bugs. And when they fixed these other bugs, they actually created this new bug. And so this new bug is created when they fixed other bug. And that's why a lot of developers will say for every 3 lines of code that you write, there's going to be a 33% of that code is going to be bad code, which later is going to have to get updated. And normally in software, it's just a software update, patch, you either remove, add, delete, adjust, it's fine. You know, there may be some issues here and there, but with blockchain technology, the previous code is in there, other code needs to be updated, and it's just very difficult to make changes on the blockchain and have those changes work with other changes that you've already made on the blockchain. It maybe not all the time, but in a lot of times it can get tricky, especially when you're writing code that has bugs in it. So this code had bugs to begin with, and then they fixed those bugs, and then it had more bugs, which led to this devastating critical attack. And so all dependent multi-sig wallets that were deployed after July 20th, the functionality now looks like this. And so with this functionality and this code, what this means is that there's currently no funds can be moved in or out of the multi-sig wallets because the whole library contract has been removed, and they can't reference the, you know, all these people's wallets. They can't reference this main file, and without being able to access this main file, people can't withdraw money out of the wallet. It's just as simple as that. And so Parity Tech is saying that they are analyzing the issue, the situation, and that they're going to be releasing an update with further details shortly. I don't think they've released a new update. Oh, here we go. Nope. The 8th. Yes. If your wallet has been affected, you can see if you've been affected in this website. I'll see if I can include this this link in the comments for you. Yeah, so their update here is that this means no funds can be moved out of the wallet. They're continuing to analyze the situation. It's not looking good is the bottom line. You can put your Ethereum address inside the wallet. You can see the number of people who've been affected. You can see that the number of affected wallets is actually over 584 wallets with 573 different affected owners. And so this is a lot of people. That's over 500 people, 500 businesses, organizations with lots and lots of Ether locked up. And so how do we get here? Let's go back, I guess, go down the timeline. After Parity Tech updated the wallet, they updated the wallet with this new code at July 20th to fix the other code. And we have this person over here. I don't know if it's a guy or if it's a girl, if they're a little younger or a little bit older. But what we do know, what they are saying, is that DevOps 199, who is now famous, perhaps infamous, and DevOps is just someone who's out there learning about Ethereum, playing with, you know, these publicly accessible smart contracts, messing around with them like a computer person does. It's like a white hacker. It's not even like, it's like gray hacking. It's not white hacking or black hacking. This person is just messing around. They have a history of messing around in their profile, and in the process of messing around and messing with the Parity Wallet contracts, this person accidentally killed it. And people are trying to figure out what happened. This is all happening yesterday. May I ask why you decided that anyone can kill the contract? You're the owner and you can kill the contract. So people aren't understanding the behavior because the contract says that the owner killed it. And so this person isn't the owner, but this person was able to, essentially access a small button inside this smart contract, right? Like a little kid putting his hand through, a NASA machine when they're sending people to the moon. And he was able to, rip out this one wire, and it just completely prevented the system from being able to work again. And so you can go through the list here of what happened and what people are talking about in terms of the history of people talking about this issue in the GitHub account. So it's just, you just get a real-time history, a real-time account of exactly what happened. And so this might be interesting to help you further analyze the situation and maybe take a look at, the person who crashed the system. This DevOps 199. Hi, I got no Twitter. This is not my account. All right, so this is not. So I guess people are trying to spoof them already online. Makes sense to me. Yeah, we can see here's a couple contributions in the past year, including a couple recently of which you probably crashed the wallet. And so here's an image, a screenshot someone took from GitHub, it looks like. And the person's asking, the DevOps 199, they're asking, will I get arrested for this sad emoji face? And this other person says, are you the one that called the kill text, the kill command? And this person says, yes, I'm just an F newbie just learning. And someone says, you're now famous. And DevOps says that sending kill destroy to random contracts is something that they've been doing, not to hack, but just to mess around with the contracts and just to see if they can find holes and bugs. And Xavier says, we can't make an omelet without breaking a couple eggs, I guess. Well, this is one hell of an egg to be broken. And this is, definitely not a good way to conduct a learning experiment. Yet this might create a huge opportunity for people to recognize the processes, the procedures, the people that are a good idea to have in place to prevent instances like this happening again. And so there was a first instance with the DAO hack. There was this instance with the Parity Wallet. And there might be different developers at different levels of Ethereum that are responsible for these different incidences and how these different incidences affect the total ecosystem of Ethereum. Yet these instances are happening, and how many times, how many examples of people losing money, of people getting hurt, financially losing their irreplaceable cryptocurrency. It's not like they can just print another 500,000 Ethereums, right? It's and if they did, they would be probably breaking the blockchain or doing a hard fork because they didn't like a decision, and it's really scary. It's really risky. And so there's this post over here on r/Ethereum over here at Reddit, and this person, Unknown Essence, goes on to state that it's not the Ethereum Foundation's responsibility to create a custom hard fork to fix buggy smart contracts written by other teams. It's probably not, it's also not the Ethereum Foundation's responsibility to create custom hard forks to fix buggy smart contracts that were written by their teams either. But nevertheless, this will set a future precedent. If Ethereum was to create a smart contract for this incident, this would create a future precedent that any smart contract can be reversed given enough community outcry, and then this would destroy any notion of decentralization and true immutability. And so if there's enough community outcry and people get together and, and when we say people to get together, let's say less than 75% or so, right? Not like a true consensus at like a 90% or 95% plus. But if they create this hard fork just because, a simple majority is seeking to hard fork this, then that is a centralized source of changing the blockchain. And if that centralized source can create scenarios in which the blockchain can be reverted or adjusted or turned back, then that really destroys the concept of the true immutability and things that happen on the blockchain staying on the blockchain. And so at this point, it's unclear to me, because I definitely don't have that level of technical knowledge to understand that if there is a fix, could that fix happen without changing the blockchain? And if that's possible, I welcome that. But if the only way to fix this is to change the blockchain, then that would destroy Ethereum. That would destroy the future of Ethereum. It would hard fork Ethereum into yet another Ethereum, and then Ethereum would be facing the same situation that Bitcoin is facing with the dilution of the brand, the dilution of the market cap, the dilution of the potential and the companies that are focusing behind, whatever the one Ethereum is, which would then slow down the network effect of that technology overtaking. At the same time, there's a lot of people who have a lot of skin in the game, over 500,000 Ether, and they don't have access to that Ether. And to what degree is that going to slow down their efforts? It's going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out, because it's just not cool how many people are hurt with this situation. It's not cool, even there's developers, there's people, there's office assistants, there's all sorts of people who simply work at that company. If that company doesn't have enough money to pay those people, then even if those other people don't have Ether inside the Parity Wallet, all those communities are being disrupted and potentially destroyed because of the mistakes of not having the proper people, processes, and infrastructure in place to really prevent these things from happening. And so what does Vitalik say? And so if you go to Vitalik's page over here, over on Twitter, he hasn't tweeted much in the past week or so. And there's this one tweet from today where he says, "I am deliberately refraining from comment on wallet issues." And it's interesting to note that he doesn't call out Parity specifically, but he says, "I'm deliberately refraining from commenting on wallet issues, except to express strong support for those working hard on writing simpler, safe wallet contracts or auditing and formally verifying the security of existing ones." And so clearly Vitalik realizes that this is a major issue. Clearly Vitalik does not want to get involved because I'm sure does not want to talk about hard forks and rolling back Ethereum because of all of the disastrous consequences of which I briefly just touched upon a moment ago. And it's clear that Vitalik is pointing people in the direction of recognizing that we need to have strong support for those working hard on writing simpler, safer wallet contracts, expressing the fact that the Parity Wallet was not simple and was not safe, or as simple as safe as it should be, and that we need more people to audit projects, not just like auditing and verifying as a service, but we need companies to recognize the critical aspects, the critical nature, the critical repercussions of not having proper auditing, not having formal verification of these systems, of these smart contracts, which are affecting so many people. And as we are seeing now, there's not one person to turn to fix this. And that is a feature of the system. That's not a flaw. And so the flaw is just in the human error. The flaw is in the the desire for people to take shortcuts, and the flaw is in for people, with people putting all their eggs in one basket and just trusting, completely the word of others. And the whole name of the game with the blockchain technology and what's happening with Bitcoin and Ethereum and this whole industry is peer-to-peer trust, is open source technology. It's decentralized technology. This requires more people to be involved, more people to learn about what's happening in the space, what's happening in the technology, and more people to be involved in writing the code and auditing the code and verifying the code. And as far as normal consumers, the masses go, not having all of our eggs in one basket, having diversification in terms of the technology that we're using, and demanding from the technology products and services that we're consuming, that we're using, that we're recommending for our friends and our family, demanding from these companies that they provide extra due diligence in, as Vitalik says, the auditing and formal verifying of security of new and existing wallets and contracts in general that come out. Yeah, I would love to know what you think. I mean, what do you think about what do you think about this specifically in terms of hard forking the blockchain? Do you think it's important for us to do whatever it takes for people to get their money back? Or do you think it's more important that we prevent mechanisms for the blockchain to be reverted so we don't have the hard forking situation that is so rampant in the Bitcoin community? Yeah, share your thoughts below. So moving over to the market roundup and taking a peek at what we have over here with the market cap over $205 billion, staying well above the $0.2 trillion mark. 24-hour trading volume, $5 billion in Bitcoin dominance at 60.8%. The per Bitcoin price, $7,484, and the Ethereum price remaining very, very consistent, $299.91. And yeah, I mean, you can see in the past 7-day mark, it's really barely affected. It went down a little bit yesterday and then pretty much right back up. You know, a lot of people were expecting the Ethereum price to drop, but why would you get rid of Ethereum? I mean, this, first of all, the people in the space probably recognize this isn't a problem with Ethereum. This is a problem with a smart contract. So, and not only that, but as I was saying earlier, this creates a lot less Ether. I mean, you know, how much Ether is there? 95 million. So you see how it's 95,600,000? You could just scratch off this 600,000. There's now just 95 million available because that's just locked up. No one's going to be able to touch that. They're not going to be able to buy it or sell it. It creates more value for all the existing Ether tokens that are now out there. So definitely very interesting indeed. And so that's that, folks. That's the Parity Wallet issue. And that is what Parity Tech has to say about it. We are looking out for more information. We'll touch upon this if more information does come out. Please like this video if this video helped you with any of the understanding of this information, or if you appreciate the links or the content. I really appreciate it. If you can't afford to donate or help contribute to the channel, then please leave a comment. Please have your voice be heard. Ask your questions, leave your comments, connect with other people, lift up the conversation so it can be constructive, and we can get more people involved with learning about Bitcoin, learning about Ethereum, learning about blockchain technology, and all of the details, the benefits and the risks that are involved. All right, so we have more videos on the way. There's a lot to talk about. There's the IndaHash pre-ICO that launched today. Super excited to support them and just see the success of that company, especially realizing how many people are behind it, backing it, and so that'll be interesting to see where that goes. But until then, when we have more, I'm glad that together we are minting coins.